You're about to open a window into the life of a ghost hunter. We'll show you dark, creepy roads that fade into the night. We'll show you haunted places, but most importantly, we'll show you what happens along the way there.
So here we are at the Arby's Goose Creek combo in Pocomoke, right?
Pocomoke, I believe so, yeah.
I think we're around there, somewhere around there. That's in Maryland, just over the line. And let's take a look at some of this food that we got here. I gotta say, it looks pretty good. What'd you get there, Linda?
I got my usual, it's a gyro, whatever you want to call it, but this is the traditional Greek version that is a mixture between beef and lamb. It has the usual tzatziki sauce, onions, lettuce, tomato, and then it has the meat, the sort of a mixture between lamb and beef, and they're usually very good.
Is it pretty good? Is it
I
on
did.
standards?
It's very, very good. They're always very good at Arby's.
Good, good. Now I decided to go for these sliders right here. I got the peppered roast beef. I got the buffalo chicken, and look at the sauce just all over that. And they gave me an extra buffalo chicken one, which is cool. And then I got the pizza slider, which has some stuff that I guess is traditionally pizza toppings. So I'm definitely looking forward to tearing into those. And over here,
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
jalapeno poppers with Bronco
Berry.
berry sauce. All right, so I'm gonna start off with one of these buffalo chicken sliders. These things look really, really good. I'll just give these a little sample here.
You're not gonna make the whole thing.
One thing I gotta say to start out is pumpkin spice coffee is back.
Yes.
The best part of, I have to say, I guess this time of year, people are still celebrating summer, Labor Day weekend, and we're actually looking forward to Halloween in the fall.
Right,
And
yeah.
pumpkin spice coffee is a sure sign of that.
Absolutely.
So, you know, in the dampness of everyone going back to school, and oh no, not back to school,
Yeah.
think on the bright side. Pumpkin spice is back. But what we're doing here is we're heading up to Delaware this weekend, and we're going to do a series of ventures. I don't know what we're going to do exactly. We're going to figure it out as we go along.
Right.
But we figured we better just bring this along with us just in case. Not the pumpkin spice coffee, but the camera.
Yeah.
Bring it along with us just in case, because you never know what we're going to find, what we're going to run into.
Right.
We're going to be venturing off into the night in search of some urban legends and perhaps some other cool things.
Absolutely, yeah. If we can find some.
Right. Nothing official, not like an official
Yeah.
investigation, but just kind of seeing what's out there.
Right.
It's trying to get me.
We're leaving Border Cafe. Great place, great food, great service, and I don't even need a doggy bag because I can carry the food out on my shirt.
As usual, the food was amazing.
Yes, it was.
We eat so much when we go in there that we come out uncomfortably full. But the food was really good. Service this time, you know, could have it left a little to be desired, but it was extremely worth it because the food is just delicious.
And you got quite a doggy bag there.
We do. We have food for after our late night ventures.
Did this car start on its own?
Yes, it did.
How'd it do that?
Happy birthday, Joey. Happy birthday.
Here we are venturing off into the night, later on, Saturday night of course, and we're up here in Kennett Square at Landhope Farms, where it's one of our favorite places to stop in because they have some cool stuff, some unique stuff, some good food,
They do,
some
yeah.
good coffee.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to stop in here and pick up some snacks and then perhaps talk about what lies ahead tonight, or what may lie ahead. We're still not sure, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So the tough choice always comes up of whether to get coffee or food, huh?
Right, right. And it's kind of hard to find things that actually go well with coffee. Usually things like cakes and pastries, but that stuff tends to be really sweet. And sometimes you just want a good, like, cup of peanuts or something like that. And of course coffee doesn't go with that, so I don't know. I never know what to do.
I have to say I had given up on this. Well, not really. I kind of lost hope. But as I wandered over here to the Pepsi cooler, right here, sparkling like crystals, Crystal Pepsi. Oh man, and we've been seeing this a lot lately. The Weiss Market
Yes.
up at near Lackawanna had it, Kmart and Pike Creek had it, and here we are at Landhope Farms, and sure enough they have Crystal Pepsi. So there's a sign to never give up hope. So I'm leaning over here and I was gonna get some food to go with my Crystal Pepsi, and I saw these red beet eggs, which I'm thinking of getting, but then right below them, they have buffalo eggs.
Ooh,
Look at that.
buffalo egg.
I'm gonna have to give these a try.
Well, I got 2 of their prepackaged salads here. We've got the potato salad made with red potatoes.
Ooh.
And then I also have the pasta, parentheses, rotini salad.
Ah, rotini.
Yeah, because you have to know that it's rotini or else some people might not buy it, I guess. I
Right.
don't know. If it was made with macaroni, it would taste the same because, you know, when it comes to things like this, pasta's pastas. But,
Right.
you know, for some reason, they felt that it was important to emphasize that it's rotini salad. So we're just going to check this out and see what it tastes like because I really like cold, like, pasta salads and potato salads like this. And I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to be.
Yeah, so we completely veered away from the coffee.
Yep.
We decided to snack now, coffee later.
Right. Oh.
At first glance, I gotta say, it looks pretty good. Let's
It
get
does.
a fork in there. And...
Yeah, it's kind of creamy looking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Oh man, yeah, red potato salad too, not just
Yeah,
regular potatoes.
I know. Not exactly what Mom makes. Mom makes the kind that has the mustard in it, more of like, I guess the Dutch style is what I'm used to.
Right.
But I like all potato salad. I'm not prejudiced when it comes to potato salad.
Right.
Mmm.
And what's the verdict?
Mmm.
Pretty good, huh?
Oh, that's really good. It's got good flavor, good texture. Of course, I'm only into the first bite, but you're not like crunching through half-cooked, half-boiled potatoes, which is good because I hate that. It's actually quite good.
I gotta say I'm a huge fan of pickled eggs. So when I found these buffalo pickled eggs, I knew immediately what I was getting, and it wasn't gonna be coffee. Well, not to mention that I found the Crystal Pepsi as well. So I'm gonna take a sample of one of these eggs here, and not sure how spicy they're gonna be. Mmm. Oh, that's a good egg. Mm-hmm.
Always a pleasure stopping in at Land Hope Farms. This place used to be open 24 hours, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And now they close at midnight, so they're still open pretty late. It's just before midnight.
Right.
And what we're going to do now is venture off into the haunted Brandywine Valley,
Yeah.
which is just a stone's throw away from here
Right.
in Kennett Square. The Brandywine Valley is an awesome place. It's just a twisted mess of roads that
Yes.
disappear into the night and wind
Yeah.
along riverbanks and
Yeah.
old colonial cemeteries and stone structures.
Right.
It's just quite a drive. There's a lot of history that the valley holds, but also a lot of ghost stories.
Yes.
And we're going to go drive around these roads tonight, see what we can see, talk about a few urban legends that are up there in the Brandywine Valley.
Right.
The best thing to use sometimes when you're out looking for paranormal activity, not for documenting it, but for your own purposes, is your eyes and ears.
Right. Right.
A lot of times when you're using a lot of equipment, you're distracted by EMF detectors, you're distracted by cameras, you're trying to get stuff to work.
Yes. You can miss stuff.
You can miss something that's going on right in front of your face. That's kind of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to get back to the basics, and what better place to do it than the Brandywine Valley. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say, this is where I started seeking out evidence of the paranormal. This is what, as soon as I was able to drive, this was the area that I would come and drive around because of the creepy roads, because of just the allure of the Brandywine Valley. It just felt like something was drawing you there. It felt like it was adventure, mystery. Just what spirits could lie here with such old structures going way back to colonial times, and so much land that's just untouched by human hands as well.
That's right. And really the whole area, like you said, is just creepy. I mean, these bumpy, unlined, winding, rising, falling roads. I mean, it really is one of those places where you have to be careful the way that you're driving, because there's guardrails, there's sharp turns. You can come up over a hill, and all of a sudden on the other side of the hill, the road turns real quick off to the right. And so it really is kind of an adventure. It's like, really a test of your driving skill to be able to go down these back roads, especially when you've got one of the locals behind you and they're expecting you to drive like 45 or 50 miles an hour. It can get really kind of scary at times, but for that reason as well.
Right.
But also because the types of trees that are there, they just kind of hang up over the road, and they're like, gnarled, like hands reaching out for your car as you go through, and it just really is kind of scary.
Things seem to run along with your car, and it feels like there's a presence there. You can feel the activity. This is one place where you can feel it. Devil's Road, the Woman of the Mist, and a haunted covered bridge.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about those as we go along.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
There's one thing I have to call your attention to.
Absolutely.
I don't know whether it's something about the lighting here at the Land Hope Farms, but our front bumper is a different color than the rest of the car.
That's got to be the lighting.
What the hell is that about?
I don't know. Is the paranormal activity starting already?
It could be.
With the bumper? I don't think so. Perhaps.
It could be.
Probably not. But while we're mentioning things of significance, Land Hope Farms has free air.
They do.
You don't have to pay for it.
And they have a nice illuminated round sign up above it.
That was a nice sign.
Yeah. And does it say free air?
It says free air.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I knew it said air at the bottom. I couldn't tell whether it said fresh or free. But either way, it's good.
Right.
Fresh, free.
So here we go.
Jeff, what are you wearing?
Well, funny you should ask. These are actually UVEX. I believe that's how you pronounce it. UVEX night vision glasses. Now, not night vision is where you can see in the dark, but they're for night driving. They're supposed to reduce the glare. And I've noticed as soon as I put them on, they do make everything very crisp, very clear. But the problem is, the green lights look like yellow lights. And I'm having a little bit of trouble with the traffic lights. But what else is cool? I mean, that's not cool, but what is cool is the headlights on the other cars, they just look yellow. What I really found interesting with these glasses, when I look down at the AC thing, the blue light I can't even see. So, probably not the best idea to wear these things on such dark roads that we're going to be traveling on tonight. But I figured I'd give them a shot, see if they do indeed reduce the glare for me. Nonetheless, we are getting ready to turn on to 52. And 52 is going to take us down to Devil's Road. Devil's Road, the official name of it is Cossert Road. It's kind of hard to find. It's very easy to miss. There was a rumor way back that they actually took down the street signs because they didn't want people finding it, because a lot of thrill seekers were coming up here and just causing some problems. There's variations of the story, slight variations of what the haunting is associated with Devil's Road, and I'm going to tell you one of those variations. Long time ago, the DuPonts reportedly built a school up along Devil's Road, and this school was for children that were mentally ill. This school ran for some time. This is a lot of legend. It's not documented like we would like it to be, and we can't find the records that we'd like to find, which leads us to believe that it is mostly urban legend, at least at this point. But the story goes that the school was sold to a cult. Now this is where it gets interesting. The cult of Satan worshippers established a church up along Cossert Road. And it's said that the land is so evil that the trees actually grow away from the church, away from the land where the church sits. And there are these creepy trees at the beginning of the road that just kind of reach out as if they are reaching away from something. Now, as these rumors grew and grew, someone from the local newspaper reportedly went out to this building to get an interview. They wanted to debunk these claims of this urban legend. Well, supposedly they were rudely refused the interview. The people would not do the interview. But they did say that the building does have upside down crosses on it, and it's just an eerie place. We haven't been able to find the building either. But it's said that this cult activity still takes place along Devil's Road, and if you go down there at a certain time, you will get chased off of Devil's Road. We have been chased before. We have been pursued by these SUVs. That's a whole nother story. I don't even want to go into that right now because that will make this episode entirely too long. But we're going to drive down Devil's Road, and I'm going to tell you right now that Devil's Road is the real deal. Whether it's paranormal or whether it's just people that are up to something, there is definitely activity along Devil's Road, and we're going to go down there tonight and see what we can stir up. This is the beginning of Cossert Road, and at the beginning it's all residential. It's not very creepy at all. But as soon as we get past this little residential area, this narrow road, what is that noise?
I have no idea.
You hear that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Is that coming from inside the car?
It almost sounds like it's right outside of the car.
I'm gonna put the window up.
That's probably a good idea.
That was strange.
Yeah, I heard it a
turn that
couple
light
times.
on. How would you describe that? Turn that light on so we can see it.
I don't know. It was almost like noise in the back seat. I don't see. There's nothing in the back seat that could have caused that noise. So
Like
I don't
some
know.
kind of a scratching noise,
Yeah,
right?
like a little bit of a
Like a rodent or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's maybe like a mouse or a rat got into the car or something. But there's no way that could have possibly happened. So I'm not sure what that was. That was pretty creepy.
I'm gonna keep I don't know. Well, oh, you know what? All right. So this is kind of stupid. Turn this towards me here. I'll show you what it is. See my hat?
Oh yeah, but I can't really see the paper. There's a paper up
above the visor, and it's straight on the peak of my hat.
Debunked.
So there you go. We can put the windows back down now. But as we're here at the beginning of Devil's Road, let's take a look. As we're here at the beginning of Devil's Road, let's take a look out the window here. And I'm gonna actually hang out the window with this. And last time I did this on Crawford Road, it didn't turn out so well. But I'm gonna be a little bit bold and do it again. And just listen to the sounds out here. It's just, all you can hear is the sounds of nature, the sounds of the night. And it's a very eerie road. This is just the beginning of it. As we go down further, this road, it winds through the valley, along some steep banks. And I gotta say, probably the most creepy thing about it is there's no way to turn around on this road. So if someone comes in from the front, for one, it's very hard to get by them. And for two, if they have bad intentions, you can't turn around. So right here is an example of one of those trees that's leaning. You can't really see it. I'm gonna bring the camera in the car here, but it is leaning. It leans more as it gets up, but unfortunately our headlights are not gonna shine up that far.
No.
And we're not really equipped to see in such darkness, because this is a very dark area. I'm not just talking about the energy, I'm just talking about light-wise. It's very dark.
Every so often, it's almost like a movement or a quick thump or something in the woods. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it is really creepy. And I mean, we do, like, I keep seeing this graffiti on the telephone poles, DRS. I'm hoping that's somebody's, like, initials and not, like, I guess the initials of the cult, you know, because that would be pretty creepy.
It's hard to say.
It really is.
I will tell you, speaking of those noises, to make it a little more creepy, I have read a long time ago that there is actually a path just beyond this first row of trees where they patrol up and down, and people coming along here, including us, have seen lights right up here in the woods going up and down that path as if it's people with flashlights.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's there's definitely something to that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's locals. I don't know why the locals will be running back and forth in the woods. I don't know why the satanic group would be doing it. But it is pretty creepy.
Ooh.
Now look at this.
Turn off.
See
I
that?
don't like it.
That's
Yeah, that's a turn off into the
just
thick
turn off
woods,
into the
and
woods.
It's got a chain across it. You couldn't really see it too much on camera. But this is really just pitch black.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Devil's Road. Very creepy, eerie road, and we'll discuss it a little more when we get to a stopping point. But after we come down Cossert Road and we make a right, we're going to come down to a little intersection by Brandywine Creek State Park. And this is where there's a very little known urban legend of the Woman of the Mist. Not a lot of people know about this. I haven't tried to do research on it in a while, but the last time I did, I wasn't able to find anything. So this is a story that I heard as a kid. And it involves a woman who was killed along this road. If my memory serves me correctly, she was hit by a car. And on certain nights, a strange mist will appear at this intersection with a woman emerging from this mist. And it's said to be the ghost of that woman who was hit by a car one night while walking along this road. So we're going to go down to that intersection, take a look around, see if we see anything, and if nothing else, show you what that intersection looks like to the best of our ability. So this area right here, it's Thompson Bridge Road, going east on 92, and this is the area where the Woman of the Mist appears. We're going to make a left onto Thompson Bridge Road, And as we turn up here, she's usually seen right in this area, right here. We stopped for a minute to observe down there by the intersection where they see the Woman of the Mist. And we didn't see anything. Unfortunately, there was a pretty decent flow of traffic coming through. What were your thoughts on that area down there?
Oh, it's kind of a creepy area, like most of Brandywine Valley. It's kind of accentuated by these really nice brick walls, or stone walls, I should say. Just low walls that you see that sometimes run for miles through this area. And something in the road.
Yep. Oh, it's a raccoon.
Is that one hit?
One of them might be hurt. Oh boy.
Aw.
I wonder
Oh,
if we
he's
can.
hurt.
Okay, we're back, and what happened was, as we were driving along, there were these two raccoons in the middle of the road, and as we pulled up on them, we realized that one of them was hurt, and the other one was out there actually trying to help the
them.
wounded one.
Yeah, they were baby raccoons.
They
too.
were very small.
Adorable.
Adorable, yes.
Very cute.
And I was getting ready to get out and pick the raccoon up if I had to, at risk of,
Being bitten.
of course, yes, of course I would have been more careful about that. So I stopped the car and put the four-ways on, and the little raccoon, at least that gave him enough time to get up, and he was able to walk off the road. He did have a limp, so we're hoping that raccoon will be okay.
Yeah.
The things you see out here in the Brandywine Valley, huh?
Right.
But
Lots of wildlife out here tonight too. We just came up to another intersection and saw a baby deer. So, a fawn across the road. So
right.
Lots of things to look out for, not just spooks, but
Absolutely.
wildlife as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I got to say, raccoons are one of my favorite animals.
They
I
are
would definitely have a pet raccoon
Those two little babies.
if it was feasible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully they'll be all right.
Yeah.
But we're going to continue our venture and see where else these windy roads lead us here in the Brandywine Valley. Right now we're turning onto Smith Bridge Road, and Smith Bridge Road is going to lead us to one of the covered bridges that grace the beautiful Brandywine Valley. But this covered bridge has a paranormal entity associated with it that was reported to us by a local one night while we were wandering around, ghost hunting, of course. And this man, he told us that apparently, we don't have the research to back this up. Once again, this is just a report that was given to us by a local, so I want to check it out. He said apparently there was a man who was a drunk driver and was killed at this covered bridge. So him and his friend, they were up here one night, and to top it off, they were drinking. And he said he stopped the car and he poured some of his beer on the ground and basically said something to the effect of, "I'm sorry for what happened to you." Well, as he poured this beer on the ground, reportedly, the spirit of this man who was killed drunk driving materialized right in front of him. So we're going to go down here and we're going to check out this covered bridge.
Ooh.
It's going to be cool.
Too bad we don't have alcohol
Oh,
to pour on the ground.
to pour on the ground, right?
Not to
right.
drink.
Of course.
No,
Yes.
we don't drink and drive.
No, or investigate, because that would kind of throw credibility out the window, I'm sure. But nonetheless, here we go. I gotta say, it is kind of eerie sitting here on this bridge. A little bit of graffiti on the post there. If you can see it, it says JoJo. Something that says I love you over the other side. Is there anybody here with us right now? What happened to you on this bridge? Can you tell us your name? Can you tell us how many are here? Are you okay with us being here? When that man came and poured beer on the ground, how did that make you feel? Well, let's go ahead and debrief a little bit about the Brandywine Valley and our venture out there tonight. It was pretty cool driving around those dark, twisted roads, was it not?
Yes, yes, and it always is. We've been out here multiple times before, and it's creepy every time we come out here. And I mentioned to Jeff that even if we had no idea of the urban legends that exist in this area, it would still be a really creepy place.
Right, right. And this was a place that when I was younger, like I said, I was drawn to. And I didn't even know half the ghost stories that were associated with the place. I just knew it was creepy, it was eerie, and there was a certain draw to the place that kept me driving those roads every night, just and experiencing some unexplained stuff myself out there. Now, when we stopped on that covered bridge, I tried to ask some questions. It's not going to be the best EVP session, of course, because for one, the car was running.
Right.
There was no way that we could have stopped and gotten out on that covered bridge because there were cars that would fly down that road. There was a big Jeep that came down the road with these big floodlights on and
like
everything.
A light bar up above
almost
it.
Ran us off the road.
It looked really weird. Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't really conducive to getting out. But you never know what we could have picked up, or if just asking some questions could have triggered something to manifest. Now, nothing did manifest that we saw.
Right.
But it will be interesting just to see if there was any responses. Sometimes the engine and the creek that was running underneath can provide some ambient sound.
Right, like white noise, yes.
White noise for perhaps something to communicate with us through. The only audio we have is from the video.
Yes.
So if there is anything in there, you'll hear it. We're also going to analyze the audio from that video.
Right.
And see if we heard anything from it as well.
Yeah.
But we're here at Walmart, and we're going to take this opportunity. A while back, we stopped at a Kmart to show you how you could put together a fairly inexpensive ghost hunting kit. Just a little thing for an emergency kit to go out and do some small-scale investigations, perhaps.
Exactly.
We're going to go into Walmart, and we're going to show you, say you're out here in the middle of the night like we are, and you're like, oh man, you know what?
I wish I had some equipment. I wish I could, you know, something's happening out here. I want to get some evidence.
Yeah.
And say you have money, unlike us, we don't have money, so we're not actually going to buy any of this stuff.
Right.
But we will show you, give you some ideas of some stuff that you could use to capture evidence.
Yes.
Found right here at a local Walmart in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. So let's go inside and take a look around.
So here we have an Olympus digital voice recorder, I should say. This is a very nice recorder. It's a basic one, but for 40 bucks, you know, you can get something that will do quite a bit. You can probably put things into different folders for each individual investigation, and Olympus always makes good quality sound equipment. So definitely something that you might want to pick up, because this is almost imperative as a basic ghost hunting tool. You're going to want something that records audio better than just your phone. So definitely one of these. So here in this section we have earbuds, and we have all kinds of listening devices. Now the reason we're going to stop here is because this may be something that you already have laying around the house. Earbuds is one of those things that you may want to take with you on the investigation, so that you can sort of review all of the audio from your digital voice recorder on site. And as you can see here, the ones at the very bottom here are $4.88. That's fairly cheap for earbuds, but definitely something you'll want to take. And they come in a variety of designer colors, so, you know, if you want just basic black, they're there.
Now, of course, you're going to want a camera to capture that perfect picture of that anomaly while you're out investigating. I always recommend Canon, and you can pick one up here, a basic Canon camera for $109. Now, we're on a budget here. Let's say you're on a budget and you want to go with the cheapest possible. You don't need the best camera for paranormal investigation. Think as far back as there's been photography, people have been picking up photographic anomalies. So right down here for 65 bucks, there's a Kodak. And really, like I said, if you're on a budget, this is all you need. A Kodak digital camera, take pictures, and load them on your computer and analyze them. Also, it has a little screen on the back where when you take the picture, you can zoom in and analyze that picture right there on scene. So if I sit here and I take a picture of, oh, the memory's full. But it's interesting. Let's see what's already in this thing here. Sometimes people take random pictures, and there's some people in the store. Yeah, so there you have it. Kodak digital camera right there, 65 bucks. One thing that we like to use on paranormal investigations is an EMF detector. Now you may be wondering, how in the world can I get an EMF detector at Walmart? Well, you can't, but there is something that could take the place of an EMF detector, and that's a compass. And over here they have a plethora of different compasses, and this one's interesting. It's a compass that can turn into binoculars. $4.97, right? As we scroll up, yeah, it could absolutely. As we scroll up, they have another basic compass, $4.97. Now, this is really cool, because this compass right here, which is only $3.97, it's got a compass in the top, it's got a whistle, but also on the back of the compass is a thermometer.
Oh.
So here, in one, you have a thermometer and a compass. This could serve as your EMF detector, because just as the EMF detector lets you know when the EMF is present, the compass will get thrown off when there are high levels of EMF as well. And as a secondary form of evidence, you have that thermometer. You can flip it over and check that thermometer on the back, see if there's any temperature changes at the same time that the compass is going haywire.
Right. I also noticed there's a couple machetes here, just in case you have to hack your way through some low brush while you're out there wandering around. Not always the case, but you never know what you're going to encounter.
Absolutely. Not imperative for a ghost hunting kit,
Right.
but perhaps if you're tracking down Bigfoot or something like that, and or you're going out to some abandoned house in the woods, and like Linda said, you need to hack your way there. Well, there you have it, $14.92.
So a flashlight is another one of those things that's absolutely imperative when you're out on doing ghost hunting. And you always need to have some way to light your way, to see where you're going, to see what may be coming at you. They serve a dual purpose here. But up at the top, as you can see, you have these 9 LED mini flashlights. These are good because they're so small and compact, and it doesn't take a lot to just kind of shove it in your mouth and hold it when you have your hands busy with other things. And they're usually fairly bright, and as you can see, they're $1, so it's worth it to pick up a couple of these. Now you're also going to want maybe some other type of flashlight like this. This is a focusing flashlight, so usually with a twist or a pull of the very end of it, you can focus it into a nice tight little beam that goes very far, or you can open it up so that you get a broader look at what is coming at you. And as you can see, this one only takes 3 of the AAA batteries. The batteries come with it. Of course, you're going to go through batteries pretty quick, but $9.62 is always worth it. Now, there's another one here we want to make mention of. This is an LED UV black light. Now, you can see, as it says on the front of the box, pet stains, auto leaks, it's for hunting and fishing. This also will allow you to see where there has been blood and urine as well, which is kind of gross, but you never know when you're going to be in a situation where somebody tells you, hey, somebody was murdered here, and you can take this flashlight and shine it around. If you don't see any bright speckly spots that are illuminated by this light, then chances are they probably weren't murdered there, or else it was cleaned up really, really well. So that always comes in handy.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. For about $115, you can put together a pretty decent ghost hunting kit.
Right
here at Walmart.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And never forget, the thing with the greatest value is your senses.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to use your eyes and your ears. Don't keep staring at a camera or any other device so much that you may miss something that occurs right there in front of you.
That's exactly right. And that's what we're doing tonight. Like I said, we didn't bring anything with us. And of course, we didn't get anything there other than a Wonder Woman sword.
Yeah, we have a little girl that would like that.
Right. But your best thing is your senses. There's no requirement of how much you need.
Right.
You can take as much as you want. You can take as little as you want.
Yeah.
And that's just some ideas of some stuff you can get for, like I said, about $115. That could have some pretty good value in the paranormal field.
And carry a notepad and a pen with you as well, because you never know when you might want to jot down some, some evidence that occurs or something that happens, and you want to note the time that it happens. So.
Absolutely. Well, let's get some coffee and see where the night leads from here, shall we? It's Sunday night, and here we are in Old Newcastle, which is a very historic area going back to 1651, if I'm not mistaken, an old colonial town, and of course an area with such history has quite a few reports of paranormal activity. So we're going to be wandering the streets here tonight and seeing what we can stir up, if anything. Now this coffee shop behind us here is called Penn's Place, and there are rumors of a ghost cat that's been seen here at Penn's Place. So we're gonna observe the windows as we're hanging out in front here, just to see if we can see anything hopping by, or, cats often like to get up in windows, right?
Yeah, they'll always sit in the windowsills.
Right. So it would make sense to me that if there was a ghost cat in this place, that perhaps it would get up on the windowsill at one point.
Absolutely.
And maybe we can catch a glimpse of it.
Right.
And this building dates back to 1682. I'd love a chance to get in there during the day, but we always seem to be up here at night. Try calling the cat.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. don't know if you could even hear me from inside the building, but
I don't know, cats have pretty good hearing.
they do.
I'm not sure if that changes on the other side of the veil.
Yeah, it very well could. But it's certainly worth maybe taking a few photographs of the windows right now and seeing maybe if anything comes up.
Absolutely. And these don't seem to be the windows. A lot of times with old windows, you get what's called matrixing. And you can get that with regular windows too. As you can see, there's the reflection of the flag and stuff in the window.
Right.
But it doesn't have that rippled glass like some of the really old colonial windows have.
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of good because there's less of a chance of that causing a bizarre image to come out in some of the pictures.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can really tell that this building has been renovated. I mean, there's a lot of indications, not just the fact that there's no rippled glass, but also the brickwork. If you look at the brickwork, you can tell that this is not old brickwork. The brick was redone at some point, and I believe they call it re-tipped, which has something to do with putting new mortar into the joints. But definitely an old structure. You can certainly tell by the woodwork, by the architecture.
This is just kind of a cool thing that we found right here under the pavement of the road. You can see the old cobblestone that's been here probably since the start of the town, way back in the late 1700s. And they do have some good examples of cobblestone roads in the town still here that aren't half paved over, but just kind of cool to see.
It's definitely something out in the water out there, and I can't tell what it is, but I can see the water disturbances over there.
And what makes you think there's something in the water?
Because I can hear it. There's big, like, slapping sounds going on. And then every so often you see the water splash up.
And you don't think it's just the normal tide?
No, it's not the normal tide. It's definitely some marine life. See it?
No.
You gotta keep watching. See, there it goes. Unfortunately, we can't get too far out on the pier to be able to see exactly what it is. It's either some extremely active fish, or maybe a dolphin, I don't know. We're in a river, aren't we?
Or maybe the Kalmar Nickel is haunted. That's that wooden ship down at the end of the pier there, which you probably can't really see too well on the video. This is interesting. Right here in the alleyway between two of these buildings, there's some very old headstones. And it says it's a 20th century burial yard.
Although I'm not real sure why they say 20th century. Maybe the ones in the back are the 20th century. Because as I'm looking at these up here, I mean, you can clearly see that it says September 1776. So
Right.
that's not the 20th century, at least not the last time I checked.
No, it's more like the 18th century.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they mean that one back there, or the older, or the newer graves, and these are the older ones. But as you can see, I mean, there's quite a few lined up here.
Yes.
Even one up kind of close to the building there. So this must be a very old church.
I gotta say, this is an awesome graveyard. The way they have it illuminated. And you can see the old stones casting shadows. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I love how they did the lighting in here. I mean, it's a very well illuminated graveyard, and for the sake of safety and making sure that people are not coming and vandalizing it, of course, that's great. But it also sort of lends this ethereal sort of essence to it, which is very appropriate. Very cool. Makes for some damn good photography.
Sure does.
Well, that was perfect.
That was perfect.
Perfect timing.
Stepping in the graveyard
At the stroke of midnight.
at the stroke of midnight.
As the
Yes.
bell goes off.
Right.
It
That was
scares
pretty
the pee
awesome.
out of me, and I dropped my phone.
I heard that. I did hear you drop that phone.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I didn't even know it
gotta
was
say I wasn't
midnight.
expecting that either. So I have to beg the question, do you think having the cemetery lit up like this makes it easier to see spirits if they are still lingering here?
I don't know.
I
I'm
would
not
have to
sure.
say, one thing that I would think, all right, it depends on what you're dealing with. A lot of
Right.
times there are cases where people see shadows moving about in the graveyard.
Right.
So I think with having these lights, and we have them from just about every angle, we have them kind of catty cornered down this way, we have one down there,
Right.
we have them behind us. If there was something solid moving in this cemetery, you would definitely see the shadow from it. These lights would definitely give
They
it the
would
ability to
cause-
cast that shadow better.
Right.
On the other, or along with that train of thought, I have to say,
Mm-hmm.
these lights, I'm willing to bet, now of course, like I said, we're out here with our eyes and ears this time, and that's
Right.
it. But I'm willing to bet, and of course a camera, that these lights give off very high levels of EMF.
They might.
I would be
might.
willing to bet they do. I mean, look at how bright those lights are,
Yeah.
lighting up that entire, so with those high levels of EMF, it's also a perfect thing to feed these spirits, to give them the energy that they need to manifest,
Right. Right.
right?
That could be true. The other thing, on the other hand, in our experience, spirits tend to shy away from us. They don't really want to be seen so much.
That's true.
So the bright illumination of the graveyard here makes me think that perhaps they would kind of hide even more. They would stay wherever it is on the other side of the veil that they go,
That's a possibility as well.
because of the lighting. But
Yeah.
like you said, because even though it does cause a lot of light in the churchyard, so anything that's going to move in here, you're going to see it.
You're going to see it.
You're
You are going to
definitely
see
gonna
it.
see
So it makes it perfect to pick up shadows. However, also on the other hand, spirits come out during the day in people's houses when they're there, when they're up and active and have the
Right.
lights on and stuff. So perhaps certain spirits wouldn't be deterred by these lights.
That's true.
Especially if they're used to these lights being on. If these lights are on every night, if this is the norm.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be one thing if it was completely dark all the time, and then one
Right.
night you turn on these lights, spirits,
Yeah.
But I would
yeah.
think if it was the norm too, it's also a possibility that they would come out. Now, also, I got to throw in there are the spirits that are easier to see in the dark because they emit their own light. Right?
Yeah.
Certain orbs that emit their
Oh,
own
yeah,
light.
yeah, they
Whereas if it's not pitch black in the cemetery and one of these orbs were to go floating by, or one of these spirits were to lightly manifest, give off a
Yes.
little bit of light, you wouldn't see it as easy with the spotlights.
Yeah, and that also goes to say that the bugs are going to be more attracted to these lights. So as you're taking pictures in the cemetery, you're likely to catch more bugs, and it's going to be harder to differentiate between the bugs and the orbs.
That's true.
What really could be an orb. So,
Right.
because I've certainly seen a lot of what is that? A
What is
bird?
what? Yeah, that
Okay.
was a bird, but at the same time I saw that bush move a little bit. So
Did you?
I guess it sounds like it's coming from that direction. It must be a bird.
Something in the bush.
I'd hope that these lights would draw the bugs over that way and
Yeah.
away from us. That would be nice.
Yeah, certainly.
But pretty cool, walking in the cemetery at the stroke of midnight.
Right,
Nice.
that is.
And I gotta say, I really like this. I don't know if you can see it well.
I know.
I
look
really
at the
like this light
cobwebs.
behind us here. It's a little light that goes, you know, it's an old lantern type light that goes over the archway that leads into the cemetery.
Yeah.
Very cool, I think.
Yeah, especially since it's covered with cobwebs and you can see all the bugs down inside. I mean, it's
Right.
obviously been a couple of years since that thing was cleaned, but it just sort of lends to the creep factor
Yes,
of the cemetery.
right.
I really like it.
We left Old Newcastle and stopped at Wawa, got some of that pumpkin spice coffee. I can't go in there this time of year without getting that pumpkin spice coffee. I gotta say, though I was tempted as I opened up the Pepsi cooler, they had Crystal Pepsi
Yeah.
once again. So we've been having some serious luck with the Crystal Pepsi
Yeah.
up here on these excursions.
Yeah.
But a short drive down 273 brings us into the city of Newark, Delaware. And Newark has an urban legend. Well, I guess it's not really urban legend. It's a mixture of history and legend.
Right.
I'll give you some light over there so we can see it.
Okay.
Where the Battle of Cooch's Bridge took place. Now, this was the first battle. Of course, legend has it, this was the first battle where they carried the Stars and Stripes, the U.S. flag as we know it. And it was the only Revolutionary War battle fought on Delaware soil,
Yes.
if my memory serves me correctly. Now, during this battle, as legend tells, a British soldier was beheaded. They said he was beheaded by a cannonball.
Right.
After talking to some historians and such, it seems like that was probably unlikely that they had cannons in this battle.
Right.
So if he was beheaded,
Had to be by bayonet or sword or like something.
right,
Yeah.
something to that effect.
Yeah.
And like I said, it seems unlikely that it happened, but it is possible.
Right.
Now, the report is that this British soldier is seen on moonlit nights walking around the area of Cooch's Bridge, walking along the road, searching for his head.
Yes.
Kind of reminds me of the Headless Horseman,
Yeah.
right? You got the bridge, you got the headless British soldier, except for the Headless Horseman was Hessian, but,
Right.
you know, who knows? Maybe he was Hessian. I don't
Yeah.
know. But they see this soldier walking around looking for his head, and we're going to take a drive down here,
Yeah.
see if we see anything odd.
It's no wonder he can't find it because he doesn't have a head with eyes to be able to see it.
Right, exactly.
So he's bound to wander for eternity.
Yes, unless he can call himself through his head, but then his ears are on his head, so I don't know how he's going to hear himself calling himself, you know what I mean? So that's going to be a tough one.
Right.
But we're going to nonetheless drive down over Cooch's Bridge.
Yeah.
Just to check it out tonight and see if he's there. So here we are, right at Cooch's Bridge. This is it. Now, during the time of the Revolutionary War, it was probably a simpler wooden bridge. I don't know. But we're going to take a drive down here and circle back through. This area to my left, just a short ways up, is where the battle actually took place. So it's along this road and along that bridge that we just showed where this headless soldier has been spotted. We looped around, we're coming back up on the bridge. And it is very humid out here. It was quite foggy along that road, which kind of added to the ambiance, if you will.
But here is Cooch's Bridge. This road that we're sitting along right here, to the right of us, is where the battle took place. And this battlefield, reportedly there are still soldiers buried under the ground of this battlefield.
Right.
Still bodies there. It's a very haunted area. People have seen soldiers walking along throughout the battlefield, in the trenches. They've seen them walking along these roads in this area, not just on Cooch's Bridge. Cooch's Bridge is famous for the headless British soldier.
Right, yes.
But there have been other full apparitions of Revolutionary War era soldiers seen walking along these roads all around the battlefield.
Yes.
So very haunted area. And I have to say, it's pretty cool. When we pan down from our left, there's a Royal Farms over there that's giving off a good bit of light.
Yeah.
But this field to our left, there's a fog rolling in. And it's a very low fog just coming across the field. And it's very eerie. It's the perfect setting for something to manifest.
Yes.
So we've been sitting here at the side of this battlefield, just doing a little stakeout per se. So those of you that know I'm a connoisseur of chicken wings, know I'm a connoisseur of chicken wings. I often get the popcorn chicken at Sheetz, which is very good. Sometimes I get the boneless bites at Sheetz. But I have to give a shout out to Sonic. Take a look at this. We stopped at a Sonic here in Delaware, at Lower Delaware, and this is what their boneless bites look like. I got some ranch down here that I'm dipping it in. And I have to say, these things are really, really good. The texture's good, the sauce is good, and they're coated with sauce. Let me show you. Take a look at the thing here. You can see the sauce just coating the bottom of it. They're sliding around in the sauce. It's really good. And these are the buffalo.
Yep, and I have Asian sweet chili. They're really good, but they have a little bit of a kick to them, which, you know, I don't mind, I like, but they've got a little twang. It's just a really good, tasty sauce. And again, these massive chunks of chicken are just kind of floating around down in there. And this sauce at the bottom, it's amazing.
That's right. And they got tots. I like their tots. Asian Zing, is that what it's called?
I believe so. Sweet Asian chili.
That's quite a glaze. And look, even after you're done, you can see all the sauce.
Yeah, with the little pieces of like red pepper in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks like a good piece of chicken right there.
It does. It's just, it's pretty spicy there.
And you didn't get the tots.
No, I didn't. I got the fries, and the fries are usually very, very good. You know, they're a little salty today. I don't like them too incredibly salty, but still pretty good.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a window into what we do when we're not out on official investigations. We like to go and visit places like we did this weekend. And I have to say, it was really cool being out there. No equipment to really distract, just our eyes and our ears, seeing if there was anything paranormal going on at these given locations. The Brandywine Valley is one of my favorite places. It really is. I love driving around there. You can spend all night getting lost on those roads. They just kind of disappear into the night. But there was this one road that we went down that had the covered bridge. And it was cool because as I was looking at the video, I went back and I was looking at the video that night just to see what happened during our little EVP session. And I saw, when we went through the bridge, I saw this white kind of faded thing in the distance. And I couldn't really tell what it was because the car was moving and at the same time the camera was moving. So I wasn't sure if it was something paranormal or not. So I went on Google Maps and I took a screenshot of that road from the same angle and overlaid the photos, and I could see that it was actually a tree. So we debunked that little thing that we weren't sure what we caught there.
But at the other locations, nothing really happened. Cooch's Bridge last night, once again a cool location. We stopped by the battlefield. We sat there for a while and observed. Didn't really see anything, but it was great just being out there. And we're heading back now. We're back in Virginia. We're leaving the Eastern Shore and heading over the Chesapeake Bay Tunnel Bridge back to the hustle and bustle of Hampton Roads, closing out our Labor Day weekend.